What's going on, everyone? My name is Burke, coach of the New England Patriots, bringing you the Week 7 battle of the ISL between Xavier and the Dallas Victory Stars and Tom and the Bayleef Munich. Now, this is going to be pretty much the same as last week. I have not seen these battles, so I'm going in blind. Don't know what happens, don't know who wins, don't know who loses. The reason that this is being done again this week and no interviews is because both Ty and myself are extremely busy these past 2 weeks, and it's been very hard to get the interviews together, and it has been very hard getting the weekly recap, getting together and doing that. So unfortunately this week there will probably not be a weekly recap, just because I'm very strapped for time. Ty and I, our schedules aren't going to line up, so we haven't been able to do it this weekend. We're not going to be able to do it anytime this week, so it is not going up this week, unfortunately. I'm very sorry about that, but it's just this week. Hopefully by next week at least one of our schedules should clear up, and we'll at least be able to get that out next week. So again, very sorry about that, but unfortunately it's what has to be done this week. So anyway, let's get into the battle, or at least the teams. So Xavier is bringing Victini, Empoleon, Staraptor, Megmanetric, Tyranitar, and Golbat, and Tom is bringing Scizor, Diancie, Mega Gardevoir, Chandelure, Diggersby, and Gothitelle. So I think this is the first week Tom is bringing the Gothitelle, and unfortunately, looking at this, it doesn't look like it's going to be able to do much, because what is it going to trap? It's not going to trap the Victini, because V-Create will probably one-shot it. Can't trap the Tyranitar because Crunch will probably one-shot it. The only thing it'll be good to trap is the Golbat, because it will be able to take that out. And if it is specially offensive, it might be able to take out the Manectric too, but that's kind of iffy. Actually, very iffy. The Victini is going to have a hard time, especially with that Chandelure, if it has Flash Fire. He can't just go launching off V-Creates, because he does have an immunity. It can get the Flash Fire boost, and it will definitely do a lot of damage to his team. Chandelure is I think going to be very important for him. It hits a lot of things on Xavier's team for big damage, as well as the Diggersby. The Diggersby hits almost everything on Xavier's team for super effective, because he is bringing a very ground weak team plus 2 flyers. So if he plays the Diggersby right, that is definitely going to be a problem for Xavier. If that's a Choice Scarf Diggersby, it won't be able to outspeed a Choice Scarf Staraptor, but it won't be able to outspeed a Choice Scarf Victini either. So if Tom can get rid of the Golbat, that Diggersby can definitely put a huge dent in Xavier's team. On Xavier's side, the Staraptor, the only thing that Tom has that wants to take a Brave Bird is the Diancie. So if the Diancie's gone, that Staraptor is just going to have a field day launching off Brave Birds, because nothing really wants to take it. The Mega Manectric, again, if the Diggersby, if Xavier can get rid of the Diggersby, then he can Volt Switch around, no problem, and be able to get initiative. He won't even be able to, the Gothitelle can't actually really trap the Mega Manectric. So overall, I think it's a favorable matchup more for Xavier, but if Tom can play the Diggersby right, he can definitely gain the advantage and possibly sweep with it. So let's get into the battle. So Xavier starts with his Staraptor, and Tom starts with his Scizor, gets the crit. I don't think that really matters. Yeah, it did decent amount of damage, so it's probably Scarf. So Tom goes for the Agility. He's setting up pretty early, and Baton Pass, still setting up a little bit early, and he Baton Passes out into Diggersby on a Scald. That's gonna be bad. That's definitely not good for him, because now it's Diggersby. While it is fast, it's basically useless unless he has maybe something on his team gets like Heal Bell, but I don't know. But Xavier is switching around on this thing. Obviously Earthquake will not hit the Golbat, and then Stone Edge miss. So unfortunately it did not do anything besides receive a baton pass. So he makes the double switch from Gardevoir into Scizor. I don't know what he was expecting, but this is obviously not good. As he goes for the agility again, he really wants to get that baton pass off. And he just switches out. I don't really see the point. But this thing has Roar, so it doesn't matter how many agilities he gets. As he goes for the Scald on the Diancie, gets the burn. So that's 2 for 3 burns. Not bad. I mean, burning that Diancie is not going to really matter. As he goes for the Scald again, it does a lot of damage. And so the Diancie did have Heal Bell. I don't know why he didn't go out into the Diancie and Heal Bell away the burn on the Diggersby. That Diggersby would have been extremely important, especially +2 speed Diggersby. Xavier doesn't really have much for that. As he makes the double switch into Gothitelle, trapping the Tyranitar, and that's not favorable for him, as he gets the Stone Edge. That Stone Edge does a lot of damage, and he gets the Toxic. Is this a Toxic stall Gothitelle? Because that's, normally like the sets are like Trick Room, not Trick Room, Trick, Choice Scarf on like a wall, and yeah, Calm Mind. But I don't know why he went for Calm Mind. This Tyranitar can kill it with another Stone Edge, and lands Stone Edge, and there that goes. So that Gothitelle, all it managed to do was Toxic the Tyranitar, as he brings in the Scizor. And agilities again, I don't understand. If he gets a Stone Edge, or a Fire Punch in this case, so that's not a Scarf Tyranitar, but Tyranitar just tearing a hole through his team. Tom really not playing well around it, so he goes on to Mega Gardevoir. If he has Focus Blast, that'll do a lot of damage, but he just goes for the Hyper Voice. Focus Blast at this point might be able to take it out, but I'm not too sure, as he just goes for another Hyper Voice. I don't really understand, as... Okay, so the rocks are gone. The rocks are gone, but I don't really see the point. But it's 6-2, there's no way he's come back from this. Now, the good play right now would be to switch out into Chandelure, expecting to V-Create, as he just stays in and sacks off the Mega Gardevoir. There that goes. So now he's on the Chandelure, and he's going to force the switch on the Victini. He should have switched that in. Like, there's no point not to at this point. He's so far behind that he needs to make a play. So he goes on to Staraptor, and as he goes through the Flamethrower, that is very good. Make sure that at least it's not a 6-0, because Staraptor is going to die to Recoil. And this was a, pretty straightforward showing from Xavier. Tom, I think he planned well, but his execution was pretty poor. Trying to set up first turn did not work. Letting that Diggersby go down like 4th turn was really, really bad, because that Diggersby could have put in a ton of work. Because what wants to take at +2? What wants to take an +2 speed? What wants to take an Earthquake? Not Empoleon, not Victini, not Mega Manectric, not Tyranitar. So nothing wants to take an Earthquake. The only thing that can take an Earthquake, obviously, is the Golbat and the Staraptor. But the Staraptor's not want to take it in return, and Golbat is probably physically defensive, so it could probably take the return not too poorly. But even still, it would have done a ton of damage to Xavier's team, and hopefully been able to pick it apart. But he let it go down very early, and obviously his play just kind of fell apart right after there. So Xavier picking up the 5-0 win, Tom taking home the 5-0 loss. Xavier's still #1 in the division, not really much competition, considering I'm #2 in the division and I'm 3-4, and he is 7-0 currently. I wonder, is he going to go this whole season undefeated? I mean, we're going to have to see. Tom now 1-6. He got a win, I think, last week. I don't remember. I think he got a win last week. Yeah. So not winless at the very least, but definitely some odd plays from him. He wasn't playing nearly as well as I thought he was in past weeks. Bringing a pretty offensive team, but not really using it effectively. But it happens. We all have our off week, and yeah, Xavier still really dominant in the division and in the conference and in the league, because I think he's now the only undefeated team. But that's all I got for today. My name is Burke. I'll see y'all later.